So, before we start discussing certain topics, we should first start from the basics by defining what is psychology. So, psychology came from the Greek word psyche, meaning soul, and logos, meaning word. It is also the study of human behavior and experience. Its goals are to understand, explain, and predict human behavior. So basically, psychology is all about you. All about your friends, family, relatives, neighbors, and other human beings living in this world. So let's talk about you. Your body changes over time. You develop physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, and emotionally, depending to many factors, such as genetics, environment, and your everyday life choices. According to Erik Erikson's theory of the stages of human development, there are stages in which a person undergoes: infancy, toddler, preschooler, middle school, adolescent, young adult, middle age, and old age. For this video, we will focus on young adults, its lifestyle, activities, and the issues that they face.
Young adulthood is generally defined as people who are ages 18 to 25 or people who are in the late teens and early 20s. This stage is considered to be the healthiest time of life because they are generally in good health and is not suffering from any disease. During this stage, people are prone to be critical thinkers and risk takers and more integrated in the cognitive and emotional aspect. They also tend to prefer relationships based on shared values and mutuality, have more respect for diversity, and make thoughtful decisions that are based on future consequences and impact on others. The transition to adulthood is a difficult process since the youth have always been dependent on their parents during their childhood years, and being an adult means being able to support their own financial needs and emotional independence. People are also tested regarding their roles as a citizen, a husband and wife, a parent, and a worker. This stage can be a period of growth and accomplishment. People in this stage are transitioning from being a teenager to being an adult. According to usccb.org, activities of young adulthood include the development of personal identity, relationships, career, and spiritual life. Different experiences will shape a person's identity. These include challenging their old habits, values, and beliefs. Existing relationships may either fade or deepen, but a person may form new relationships. He may also develop multicultural relationships and integrate sexuality into his life. Entering into the world of work aims for it to be functional and meaningful to create a fulfilling experience. The spiritual life of a person urges him to search for his purpose in life, deepen his gift of faith and religious tradition, being active in the religious community, and developing mind and heart to correspond to the environment.
The quarter life crisis is a period ranging from early 20s to 30s. This is common and applicable for our age group, young adulthood. This is the time where young adults feel doubtful about their own lives, or from stress of becoming an independent adult. The emphasis of quarter life crisis simply comes down to the need of fitting in. For people in this age group and issue, they usually feel left out and without a path, especially relating to career and relationships. They might be unsure and confused with what they are supposed to do right at the moment. They may have lost their motivation or can't find satisfaction in what they are doing. In order to get necessary data for our presentation, we conducted an interview with our guidance counselor about the topic that we discussed, which is about young adulthood.
Pag sinabi kasi natin, yung nag-graduate na, minsan it's a matching of uh, yung interest nila, saka kung ano din yung nag-graduate nila. So there are instances they graduated, like for example, they graduated engineering pero hindi pala nila yun gusto as a career. So isa yan sa mga major concerns na they usually encounter. Meron naman hindi sure kung ano talaga yung gusto nila as a career. They are still exploring which one is good for them, kung ano din yung available uh, work sa market. So basically ganun, explore lang nila. Yung iba, the reason why they took up this course, it's because it was their parents' choice. Pero pag andun na sila sa actual, this is something that they don't like doing. The course that they have taken is something that does not interest them. Pwede din peer pressure kasi andun yung barkada nila. So doon na lang sila pupunta kasi ayaw makipaghiwalay sa barkada. So kahit hindi nila gusto yung course but because they wanted to be together, so they end up also taking that course. Pwede naman yung kasi iniisip nila na ito yung medyo in demand at this point in time. Pero later on, they realize na hindi pala kahit in demand siya, but they don't like the job. The family itself, no? Dapat when you make decision, you should involve your family. Because in a way, sila din magsusupport sa'yo sa pag-studies mo. If you don't find happiness with what you do, so at the end of the day, you will resign from the work.
Knowing the quarter-life crisis signs won't help you. They are long-term symptoms of being stuck. Treating the symptoms doesn't stop the problem. In fact, the exact opposite happens. Treating depression without addressing lifestyle changes will often cause a person to run themselves down even more. What helps will be the actions you take to move ahead upon. The answer is 100% a matter of lifestyle. Be proactive in your life. Not trying to do what you have been told, but to do what supports you and then expanding that to be more and more an expression of your style. Go beyond the limited box society has given you and start creating a life that is yours. Tell a person to thrive doesn't do any good. You have to actually create a set of physical actions to follow and work against. This is about truly realigning yourself to live in a way that can be yours while balancing out all the bullshit of society. So we have prepared 5 steps for young adults to achieve the life that they want. First of all, detaching yourself from your default direction. Instead admitting their slump, young adults blindly follow the track set before them. Whether it's their parents' path, the route that they choose right out of college, or what they feel they should be doing, even if their depression, anxiety, or anger indicate it's not working. If you're scared to do something different, remember that very few people instinctively know what they want to do with their lives, and it's never too late to figure it out. Neuroscience reveals that our brains aren't set in stone. Instead, they continually adapt in response to what we learn and experience throughout our lives. If the most powerful tool in your body can get on board with any new path you pick, it's not too late to try again. Step 2 is staying put. Once they realize they're lost, most people freak out. But anxiety would only make it worse. Kenneth Hill, a psychologist, writes that when emotional arousal is high, thoughts tend to scatter in irrelevant directions, making the person unable to concentrate on solving even simple problems. Thus, the best approach for reorientation, says Hill, is calmly staying put, at least until we get our bearings. Don't run faster when you've lost your way. Next is finding your landmarks. Example, hikers use a prominent landmark as their base. Wherever they go, they keep it in view. Without landmarks, getting lost in the wilderness is inevitable. Similarly, if we don't define what actually matters to us in our 20s, we'll get lost in the chaos of what everyone else is doing and where we think we should be going. Fourth step, create an action plan. After calmly staying put and using landmarks to decide your general desired direction, create a map out. If you don't keep track of time, you'll sink back into the course of least resistance. Find what works for you, and then prevent self-sabotage with daily steps to hold yourself accountable. And lastly, the fifth step, stop making excuses. We can only feel in control of our destination if we take responsibility for it. For a 20 years old, it's much easier to avoid the stakes of her non-action. Common excuses include, I'm not smart enough, the time isn't right, or I have bad luck. Neuroscience reveals that what we tell ourselves directly contributes to the result. Determining our own path for the first time after departing the structured womb of adolescence and college can feel overwhelming and bewildering, but with planned, purposeful steps, you can choose a life you won't regret.